sure. It's definitely a little more, well, I guess a little less gritty and fighting, but I don't know. We've seen quite a bit of that over the last couple seasons too. So I don't know. I think at the end of the day, we're hockey players and we're going out there trying to do our jobs. And you might have a little enmity between you and the other guy on the other team, but at the end of the day, we're humans and we respect each other and we're just trying to do our jobs.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Derek. So Cassian comes back tonight. I know you, Fogel, and Cassian were together a lot, and I also know lines change. But with Cassian coming back, what element does he bring, and what's going to make you guys work as a line?
I think we all know what Cass brings to the lineup. I think he's a great player and a great addition to our line. He brings physicality, some underrated skill for sure, holding on to pucks in the O-zone, making plays. I think he brings some leadership to our line too, talking on the bench, discussing different things that happen on the ice, things we can do differently. And yeah, I think we're just going to be a hard forechecking, hard-working line that likes to play in the O-zone and try and create offense from there. And I think Cass is a big part of that.
All right, so from your sort of half season last year playing under Darryl Sutter, I mean, you know, he's known for the whole 3-2 league thing and having that certain style. How do you sum up the style you have to play against tonight then?
Yeah, I think Darryl's a great coach, and I think he's a great fit for that side for sure. He requires you to play a hard game. They're going to be a hard forechecking team. I guarantee you they come out tonight, you know, trying to put pucks behind our D, make our D turn, and trying to spend time in the O-zone. And in order to counter that, I think we need to get hold-ups, make sure they can't get in on the forecheck as quickly as they want to. And then it's about making plays, making those small little share passes and getting out of our D zone as quickly as possible, because that's where they're gonna try and pin us in there.
Hi, Derek. A lot is made about, you know, not having fans last year and the difference they is in this series. Is that kind of one where you really miss the juice of having a crowd inside the building, Edmonton, Calgary? Yeah, for sure. I think it was applicable to every game. It's a lot different without fans in the building, but the Battle of Alberta just, you know, we feed off of the energy of the fans, the energy of the city, just driving to the rink and you see people, they're fired up. And when you get to the rink and you get on the ice, it just becomes tenfold. So I think it's definitely amplified in that regard. And it's a welcome sight to have fans back in the building. Because even though you guys played 9 or 10 times last year, it was fairly tame considering how it's been in the past. Is that kind of maybe a byproduct of just doing it in an empty rink? Yeah, for sure, a byproduct of that, and then just playing so many times against each other became maybe a little redundant. I don't know, just speaking personally, but I thought it became a little bit too much where you're playing a team 10 times. It's hard to have that same fire every single game. So I think it'll be better this year. I think we only play 4 times and fans in the building, so that's a recipe for success.
Derek, in my limited knowledge of you, I recall you not being the most verbose guy on the ice. You've already played the Flames. Has anybody had a little bit of fun with you out there, chirping you a little over the course of the games? Are there a couple of guys that you've got your eye on that might be perhaps exchanging some thoughts with you out there?
Yeah, it was kind of nice, to be honest, to play him in this preseason a little bit and have that, I don't know about chirping, but just that smile on the ice. You know, I've got a bunch of friends over there, played there for 3 years, and a lot of great guys over there. So it's fun to get that kind of out of the way in the preseason, and now come regular season, we can just get down to business, and there'll still be a smile, a smirk, and a comment every now and then, but we can kind of move on. And yeah, there's been a couple guys, I won't name any names, but I have a lot of good friends over there. So it's now it's about moving on and playing for the Edmonton Oilers now and doing my job here. Thanks, guys.
Tyson, rivalry game, Battle of Alberta, I guess how much different will it feel this time around, adding that element of the fans back into the Battle of Alberta?
Yeah, I think it'll be amazing. Last year was my first go at the Battle of Alberta, and there was definitely intensity. No fans, obviously, so it'll be nice to get the full feel for it today.
What's your sense on this group's ability to, you know, play whatever kind of game needs to be played, you know, rivalry games and such, and just, you know, the players you have and the styles you can play if you have to?
Yeah, I think that's a really important part of our team is how versatile we are. And, you know, we're a team that is focusing on, you know, trying to defend because we can score goals. And we're putting a lot of emphasis on, you know, trying to limit teams' opportunities. And, but like you mentioned, we can kind of, you know, that's our goal. But if a game goes another direction, you need to score a few, and you know, I think we're obviously capable of that. So it's and you know, we're not afraid of a physical game either. So I think it's a great mix, and we got a really well balanced team.
Tyson, there have been a lot of changes on both teams. How much similarity do you think there will be in the type of game that is played compared to last year?
I think just probably the thing that'll be the most similar is the intensity that you'll see. It's just the mindset of that Battle of Alberta, and it's hyped up, and guys are aware of that, and both teams kind of obviously hate each other. So it's I think first and foremost you'll see the intensity, and then you know, I know when they made the coaching change last year, they were a very hard forward checking team, and you know, a no nonsense team. So I'm sure we'll see a little bit of that tonight.
I'm not sure how much you were able to follow it the previous year when you were in Toronto, but there was, you know, quite a bit of hatred that year. Did you sense that hatred continued last year? Was it maybe a bit of a drop off?
Yeah, you definitely saw it with Cass and Kachuk and everything, and that was all over the news for a while, so you could kind of see the spark was reunited. And then last year, I think it definitely, you know, it carried over. I don't know if it was, you know, as much as the fighting and all that, but it was, you know, the intensity of the games and the will to want to beat the other team. I think that's definitely there, and it's fun to play in these ones.
Just a little off topic, I saw you have a little fun on Instagram yesterday. Have you and Justin had to make amends, or what happened?
Oh no, but it was funny. I was sitting with Austin when he texted him that, and I was like, oh, that hurts. It was no, that was a funny one.
Tyson, over here. The Oilers only got 2 power plays last game. Last year in the league, 10 teams got more power play chances than the Oilers, and yet the Oilers have the puck, the greatest offensive players in the league. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. These are always tricky ones to comment on. You don't want to get yourself in any sort of trouble. I think the game's so fast right now, and The guys are so skilled and so there's so much speed. It's got to be, it's tough to see some things. And I think Connor, the way that he plays and how quickly he turns his feet over and gets teams on the defense, there probably should be a couple more calls against him, but you don't want to be sending guys to the box all game against him. So it's a tough job to be a ref, and I don't envy that at all.
It's funny, the refs noticed that your team took 5 penalties, though.
Yeah, they sure did. Mine was certainly a penalty, so I can't defend that one at all.
Thank you.
Just a quick one over here. You played these guys 10 times last year. This year it'll only be 4 times. Does that change the dynamic in any way of how these games are viewed, approached, played?
Yeah, I think a little bit maybe at the end of the year last year it was getting, you play a team 10 times in a few months, it's a lot. There'll probably be more emphasis put on the Battle of Alberta. You only seen them 4 times, so it'll be, maybe even more intense. And I think just whatever you think it would be with 4 against 10 is probably what it is. Thank you.
Dave, for a rivalry game like this, how nice will it be to have kind of the fans having a chance to weigh in on the Battle of Alberta again?
Makes it great. Makes the atmosphere in the building is the way it should be. Normal, which is more intense.
Does it help the players get up? Like, did you notice in the Battles of Alberta last year where, not that there was a lack of intensity, but it has to add to the dynamic for the players too?
I don't think it helps them get up to start the game. I think it keeps the emotion of the game engaged all the way through. There's no lulls in the game. You got an atmosphere in the building, which everybody's engaged in. So it's just, players don't have you come into a game, players are thinking about who they're playing against, the kind of game it's going to be. But then once you get in the building and the atmosphere in the building is there, it keeps everybody engaged. That's the difference part tonight that the players are looking forward to. Everybody's looking forward to.
How much of a role can Bogle and Cassian have with Ryan in the middle there? Just a line that has the potential to play with that speed and physicality in a game like this.
Well, we talked about, having a line that can play heavy, get around the opposition's net a little harder to play against. And that's a line that we think can do that a lot better than we maybe have in the past. So we'll see. Cass is going to come back from injury, but the last game they played, they were coming. They looked like a line that could work. So we'll see how it goes tonight.
Dave, over here, it used to be there were players who played in Calgary would never play for the Oilers and vice versa. Now, tonight you've got Smith and you got Russell and you've got Lucic and you got Ryan. Is that just the way the game goes or what?
The way the game is now. It used to be all the players used to go and live in the city they played in all the time too. Now that, everybody's got their summer places and they go and play, and, the game has changed a lot that way.
So when you played in Pittsburgh at the end of your career, was there a lot of movement back and forth between the Flyers and the Penguins? So they're rivals.
Yeah, there was. You had Tocchet and Recchi, and a bunch of guys were moving back and forth then. So, yeah, it was certain players, but you seem to notice it more when here we have a lot of players, which is, you guys are, the Battle of Alberta has been going on for a long time, but, back in Pittsburgh there, you were looking at some elite players. You had Recchi and Tocchet traded for each other. We had Kenny Reggett in goal, was our backup goalie, some guys. So there was some of that, but a lot less.
Good, thank you.
All right, let's play.